It's Greg Johnson's Vine Street Stories. Originally released on CD only, it's just been pressed to vinyl for the first time as a 30th anniversary double LP. Greg recently wrapped up a celebratory tour across Aotearoa, and the timing couldn't be better to revisit this classic. The album was recorded in 1994 in a St Mary's Bay villa just a stone's throw away from us here at Studio One, and completed at Marmalade Studios in 1995. To be honest, I hadn't given it a proper listen before. It wasn't really on my radar until David over at On Vinyl slipped a copy into one of our special deliveries with a post-it note saying, "New Zealand Music Month contender?" And he wasn't wrong. It's rare that an album connects with me from the first spin, but Vine Street Stories did exactly that. Every track is a cracker. It made me question whether I'd subconsciously absorbed it back in the day, but probably really just reflects how many times I've actually spun it since getting my hands on it. Listening now, it feels like a time capsule of what it felt like to live in Auckland in the mid-90s. It takes me back to some of the cafes, jazz bars and restaurants like Ricchino's, Deschler's and Vivace, where musicians and young Aucklanders gathered around coffee, food and live music before spilling into the nightclubs of the era. The album has that same energy, late night conversations, smoky corners, and a kind of romantic opticism touched with defeatism that defined the time. The sound is lush and detailed, surprisingly so, given that much of it was tracked in a typical wooden villa. Greg's piano anchors the record, especially on If I Swagger, a solo performance recorded in G minor. For that track, they had to reinforce the floorboards of the flat when they wheeled in a Steinway grand piano. It's a stunning love song, and one that David Ward is riffing on today with a vintage Telecaster through a beautiful Fender reverb amp. There's not a weak moment on the record. Suddenly Cold, You Stay Out of Your Life, Beautiful Chain, Sun Beat Down, the list goes on. It's all strong, a genuinely cohesive album. Instrumentation-wise, Greg leads with piano, keyboards, trumpet, and even a little bit of penny whistle. But there's also a remarkable variety of string textures: acoustic, nylon, 12-string and electric guitars, dulcimer and mandolin. There's great backup vocals and a cameo from Bo Runga. The standout for me, Johnny Fleury's bass work. It's massive. When I stream the album, I miss it. But on vinyl, and even on my cassette tape dub of the vinyl, it really drives forward in the mix, and it turns out it's a fretless bass, played cleanly without excessive sliding, which makes it deceptive. That explains the warmth and depth. Fleury also plays the Chapman stick on the album, which is a 10-string instrument combining bass and guitar strings and played by tapping the fretboard with both hands. Look up some videos if you've never seen it in action. It's a remarkable instrument. And of course, at the centre of it all is Greg's unmistakable voice and songwriting, world-weary, poetic and characterful. If Vine Street Stories isn't already in your collection, the new vinyl pressing is well worth hunting down.